Brought to you by our sponsors, William Richmond Inc., Farmers Home and Auto Insurance, the Bob Koski Agency, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, McNeil's Group Properties, Chesapeake's Bounty, Buddy Lee Landscaping and Contracting, LLC, Chesapeake Plastics, the Charleston Senior Community, and R.E. Graves Heating and Air Conditioning. Now, here's a live forecast update from JB Weather.
Hey, hello everyone, I'm Forecaster John Bordash with you in the Storm Center this evening to give you the latest update as we have yet another winter storm knocking on our doorstep. I believe this makes the fifth one in just about 2.5 weeks. We've gotten to know each other pretty well here on the live streams. You all have been with me through all of this, and I think this is going to be the last storm we have to deal with out of these parade of storms. But let's get right into it. I know you all want to know what's going on. Let's, again, get right into it. So we have, again, another system coming in. This one's for tomorrow. It begins tomorrow morning. I promise you, we're going to get into timing. We're going to get into impacts. We're going to get into travel, if you should take your poodle to the vet tomorrow. We're going to be getting into amounts. We're going to get into all of that good stuff here. So just stick around. Be patient. We'll get to it, I promise. On the bottom part there, you can see the current winter weather alerts. So we have a storm system currently down towards the Gulf Coast, and I can actually show you that right now on radar where it is. Taking it over here. Yeah, this is it. This is our storm system right now, bringing snow, bringing sleet, bringing ice to parts of the deep south. And you can see we bring this to a current frame. Oof, snow is already working into Kentucky and West Virginia. That means it's not too far away, and I don't think it is far away at all. Getting back over here, though, we're going to be looking at this storm that tracks up along the Appalachian Mountains. That is an issue track for us, and that's why we're talking about some ice. We need these storms to track just to our south for an all-snow situation, or well to the west for an all-rain situation. So we'll set up icing for our region, and moderate to high impacts do look very likely across our region. Again, if you're just now joining, 90% of your questions are going to be answered in about the next 5 minutes, I promise. Not that I can see them just yet, but I know they're probably pouring in as I see this number roaring up. And hello to the 714 of you joining Southern Maryland's most accurate forecast. So what are we talking about for precipitation types? Let's get down to it. Snow and sleet will be the most prominent well to the north, up along the Mason-Dixon line. If you have any interest on over towards Frederick, getting on over towards Hagerstown, Cumberland, this is going to be likely moderate to heavy snow that might switch over to a little bit of sleet. The light pink zone encompasses a lot of the region. Snow and ice will be found here. Accumulating snow probably, and likely going to be some sleet and freezing rain. That dark purple zone, that comes right across the majority of our region, except for those of you down along the southern tip of St. Mary's County. You all are always left out. I know. You want to be left out of this, though. This is the region. Maybe some snow, but I have bigger ice concerns here, and some ice, but mainly rain down to the south and east. We have winter storm warnings that for a large portion of the region, and your eye hones right in on Calvert and St. Mary's counties that are currently in purple. I do not agree with this by any stretch of the imagination. This signifies to you all that the worst impacts will not be here, and I do not agree with that assessment at all. I've been called out recently for being too grouchy and calling too many people out, but I'm just letting you know, I believe that this winter storm warning or even an ice storm warning should be up for our region. You'll see in my forecast, my ice forecast looks very similar to what we saw this weekend. We were under an ice storm warning. But with that said, where you have the warning, we're talking about mainly snow and ice impacts, and across St. Mary's and Copper County, it's an advisory maybe only because we're talking about just ice impacts and not snow. But again, I would extend that purple. It encompasses every county around you: Anne Arundel, PG, Charles, King George, even Westmoreland counties under that warning. If you're in Calvert or St. Mary's, take it from me, you should be under this warning as well. I would place you there as well. How much snow are we talking about? Again, this is not a snow maker for Southern Maryland. It never has been, and I don't think it will be. You will find those higher snow totals north and west of D.C. Once you head up towards Montgomery County and over towards Howard County and Baltimore, maybe you're talking about a nice 3 inches of snow or so. In D.C., you're probably closer to an inch. Here in Southern Maryland, probably less than an inch. And we'll show you timing here in a second and walk you through Futurecast. Now, this forecast isn't just for snowflakes. This also includes some ice pellets, some sleet. Our models today have been indicating, and I do think this could be possible. We're talking maybe an inch or two of sleet for some of you, more likely over towards the I-95 corridor, but maybe even down towards southern Calvert and St. Mary's County. You deal with a little bit of sleet. So you might see 1 to 3. Let's just put it this way. In Dunkirk, you're in my 1 to 3 inch zone. You might see half an inch to an inch of snow, and then you might be talking an inch or two of sleet on top of that. So see, it's a little better than freezing rain. You can drive a little bit better in it. Not that I recommend driving it all over the next couple of days, and I know that question has come in. I'm sure it has, but I think this is snow and sleet. I think the highest snow and sleet totals will be to the west. This is really the forecast I'm going to show you. My final call ice forecast. And actually, I'm going to zoom right in here to Southern Maryland, where most of you are watching from. I think for much of the region, we're talking up to a third of an inch of ice. On Saturday, we were looking at, for some of you, a quarter inch of ice. And some of you I know are going to say we only saw rain. I'm going to let you run with that prerogative. But we did see a decent amount of ice here on Saturday, and we could be near that, if not exceeding that, by the time we head over towards tomorrow evening. So we're going to see the snow and sleet working initially. This is going to be tomorrow morning. By about midday or so, we transition to sleet and freezing rain. Here in Southern Maryland, it's freezing rain. And I think northern areas, again, we're talking probably Prince Frederick to Mechanicsville, points north, we're talking about up to a third of an inch of ice. And I see some, and I'm going to pick on you a little bit, so no worries about work or school tomorrow. We just got to look at this. We're talking about maybe a quarter inch of ice. If you go to school or work, I would applaud you. But we could even see some locally higher amounts possible. Our models have been trying to put down maybe up to a half inch of ice in some of these locations. I'm hesitant to kind of publicly run with that, but that is definitely possible. And this is why I think that even Calvert and St. Mary's counties should be under at least a winter storm warning, if not an ice storm warning. Outside of that dark purple zone, we're talking that more salmon color. That includes southern Calvert, St. Mary's County, as well as areas just northwest of D.C. We're talking about 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch of freezing rain, leading to ice accumulations. This will be very impactful. You will have a hard time driving in this. I'm just going to let that be known now. And then further to the south, and east, up to 1/10 of an inch. So what does the timing look like? When is going to be the best time to travel? Not that I think travel is really advised at all tomorrow. But let's first just look at Thursday. I broke this up into 2 days. Looking at the Thursday storm, or the Thursday part of this storm. For snow, we're talking less than an inch south, maybe an inch or two up to the north. We're going to look at that quick snow burst in the morning. I think it probably moves in between about 3 and 5 o'clock, and maybe it sticks around until lunchtime. It'll probably stick around longer the further north you head. In southern St. Mary's and southern Calvert County, you might not even see any snowflakes. This might just start off as sleet going right over to freezing rain. But the snow that we could see, especially north of Prince Frederick, and north of Mechanicsville into Charles and PG and Anne Arundel County, could have a low to moderate impact for you. So we'll see impact right out of the gate. That transition to ice up to a third of an inch will happen probably during the late morning hours. I think the highest impacts will be during the afternoon hours. So tomorrow afternoon's commute will be more impacted than tomorrow morning's commute. Granted, both will be impacted, and you can see that there on the roads bar. Impacts begin in the morning. We're already up to that orange phase. We're over medium impacts by about 6 in the morning. That's why I do not recommend school, work, travel, anything. In a non-pandemic world, schools would have already been closed. In this pandemic world we live in, we're talking about code virtuals, we're talking about hybrids, and I think I saw someone say Calvert County schools have already gone code virtual. We're in a pandemic. I don't know what that really means. I thought everyone was code virtual, but just check with your school system. It's hard for me to keep up with the latest developments with every school system in our region. It's a lot to look at. So just know school impacts are likely. And I think actually St. Mary's County goes back tomorrow as well, if not today. Something like that. But all-day travel difficulties, nevertheless, likely all day tomorrow going into the evening. Now, a saving grace that we've seen kind of trend today, and I do think this is probably likely, is that during the evening, after about 7 o'clock, we could see some breaks in the activity come through. So even though I had the ice and rain bars up to yellow during those times, we could see some breaks in the activity that would lead to lower ice and rain totals, which would be great news. But I do want to let you all know that the potential is there for up to a third of an inch of ice. Taking you on over to Friday. Snow is unlikely for our region Friday. Maybe northern communities can get back in on some snow. I don't think it's too likely, though. Lingering areas of ice, because not everywhere is going to warm up to above freezing. My forecast high for tomorrow is 33. So there will be lingering areas of ice going into Friday. The precip will probably come to an end during the morning and afternoon, or during the morning hours for you. So travel difficulties are going to remain. They'll gradually get better as the day goes on, but we're going to be talking about these travel difficulties that stick around for you throughout Friday. So I even think Friday's impact. You're trying to travel anywhere, maybe the evening's better for you than the morning. So do keep that in mind. I want to take you over to our models. I'm going to show you kind of what we're looking at in terms of timing for you. This is our North American model. This is currently temperatures. I want to show you the reflectivity type. And as we push this forward here, this is 1 a.m. in the morning, not much, some snow to the north. And we can kind of see why it's doing this as we pop you on over here to current radar, which you can notice already is we already have this stream of snow that's kind of worked out ahead of the main system. So this will move into northern areas first, and then it'll move into southern areas. But futurecast, this is 1 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, snow to the north, and as we continue to push this forward towards 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and 4 a.m., now we're seeing precip move in. Blue represents your snow. This salmon color here, however it registers on your screen, where my mouse is, this is sleet. These purple areas, and if I can scroll down here, I can show you the key. Purple areas, that is indicative of freezing rain, so that is ice. Freezing rain looks the exact same as regular rain. It does. You're not going to see icicles falling from the sky, but this falling rain will lead to ice accumulation because it will be freezing on contact. But this is heading on over towards about 4 o'clock in the morning. By 5 o'clock, snow is pushed in, but even for southern areas, you might not see that much snow. You might go right over to sleet. That's something I'm going to definitely be monitoring tomorrow morning. So this is 5 a.m., heading on over towards 6 a.m., 7 a.m., where you have snow. It could be moderate to heavy at times. So this is 7 a.m. for you. But even at this time, we're talking about widespread sleet, potentially heavy sleet, and that freezing rain trying to work in with rain well to the south and east. Pushing it towards 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock, this model is very aggressive, wanting to show a widespread area of sleet, potentially heavy, freezing rain that is moving into southern Coward and St. Mary's County, snow well to the north. Pushing it towards 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock, look at this, you go from widespread sleet at 10 to by 11, we're talking about freezing rain, maybe heavier areas of freezing rain. This sleet's even pushing into Pennsylvania. So we're talking about widespread icy conditions. Sleet is technically recorded as snow, but from the National Weather Service, but we know they're different. But it's sleet and freezing rain going to be widespread as we head over, getting towards about 11 a.m. By the lunch hour, snow and freezing rain continue to be widespread. Rain, this tries to switch over to a plain rain in southern Coward and southern St. Mary's. We can see that here. You can see where your counties are, and you know where you are in your counties. I know you do. So generally, northern Coward County at this point, this is at the lunch hour at noon. Sleet, southern Coward County, like Lusby, would be rain potentially. This is one take on the forecast. But as we push you forward towards 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock, this freezing rain here that is represented here in this purple continues across our region. We are now getting towards 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so we've seen several hours of this already. It is lessening in intensity, and you will notice, as we just talked about, as we head towards about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, we see some breaks, but we do still see the precipitation lingering around. By 8 o'clock and 9 and 10 o'clock, we're still talking about it. By about 11 o'clock, heading on over towards midnight, I mean, we're gradually clearing, but waves of moisture continue to come into the region, and we don't see this truly come to an end. This year is about 9 o'clock in the morning on Friday. How much freezing rain does this put down, this model? It might be a little hard to see, but I can tell you this number here is a 0.52 in St. Mary's County. This number down here towards Scotland, that's a 0.33. So we're talking a third to half an inch of freezing rain across the region, especially where you have these darker colors. How much sleet? And these are sleet numbers, and this is pure ice pellets, and it's hard to accumulate ice pellets. This model has a 1.8 on up towards Andrews, talking a 0.7 in Leonardtown. So we're talking a general maybe half inch to 2 inches of sleet out of this bad boy. Really focused on the midday hours, but yeah, that's a hefty amount of ice we haven't seen in maybe over a decade. This model, in terms of snow, keeps it all to the north and west. Amounts aren't as impressive as you might have seen elsewhere, but I think this is a pretty good call. Generally more to the north and west, very little here in southern Maryland. So that kind of gives you an idea of timing, and I think that really gives you an idea of why my timing, coming back here to Thursday, looks the way it does. Transition to ice begins. That's why we start to see those colors kind of become brighter as we head towards 8, 10, 8 to 10 in the morning, going on over towards noon. So I wouldn't recommend travel tomorrow. All-day travel difficulties are likely, and I will post this specially for you on Facebook later on this evening. So it is available to you on the website. Check out jbweather.net. You can get all the information there. You can also get the forecast on Twitter at jb_weather, Facebook, where most of you are watching, and on Instagram at jbweather. But I will post this again so people can get this information, because I know a lot of people like to see these graphs. It really helps them to plan. So I wouldn't expect much to be happening. So I would expect everyone to see ice tomorrow. I think that's very likely. Coming back to my ice forecast quickly, even down in Scotland, even down in Ridge, even down towards St. Mary City, you're talking maybe up to 1/10 of an inch of ice in the very least. You could maybe even see a little more than that. I just showed you a model that brings that area maybe up to 1/3 of an inch of icing well to the south. So I would plan for a icy day for the day tomorrow. I think this system has the potential to produce more ice than we saw yesterday or on Saturday. Power outages, I just saw a comment kind of stream through. Let's see, Brianna, I can't pronounce your last name, my apologies. She wants to know about the power outage potential. I would say maybe isolated to scattered outages are definitely possible. This won't be a wind maker, though, so that'll prevent too many outages from happening. But once you get 1/3 of an inch of ice on those power lines, you're going to see issues. Look at Texas. So I think that's generally what we're talking about as we head into the day tomorrow. It's going to be a very busy day. I'm going to be here in the Storm Center tracking it all for you, providing live updates as I can. I have an 8 a.m. class tomorrow and a 9:30 class. I'm done with class though by 11. So updates in the morning might be a little sketchy. I'll try to get you in between classes, but it's going to be a very active day, and it's going to be important. Just stay with JB Weather. I'm going to keep you updated on the latest Southern Maryland updates. When have you ever seen Prince Frederick and Leslie shown on the same map on Channel 7? Or on Channel 4, or on Channel 5, or on Channel 9? You don't. So and I've been doing this for a long time. A lot of the followers can tell you, you're going to find information that you won't find anywhere else. I'm going to keep you updated town by town, county by county, and show you what you're going to be looking at and how to prepare for tomorrow. It's going to be an impactful day. I do not recommend travel. I do not recommend any outing unless you necessarily need to. And if you are an essential worker, like you're a nurse or someone, and you need to head into work, you're like, oh crap, what am I going to do? Take it slow. And just kind of be aware of what's going around. Are we talking about like a 1994 sized ice storm? I don't think so. But we're going to be talking about ice that will make traveling tomorrow very difficult, and ice tomorrow that's going to lead to maybe some isolated power outages. So do be prepared for that. I don't necessarily think you need to be looking at getting a generator out, but I do think you need to be prepared to get some non-perishable snacks. Just stay inside tomorrow while you still have power, or if you have a gas stove, fire it up, make some cookies, make some brownies, send them to your favorite weather guy. Gotcha. Watch a movie, and then when I do a live update every hour at 12 o'clock, at 11 o'clock, at 7 o'clock, tune in. I'll keep you updated. Tomorrow's a nice day to stay inside. You don't want to go outside. And it's the middle of February. Who's really going outside too much, So just stay with us. We'll keep you updated, I promise. I'm not going to give you some forecast that's hyped up, that doesn't have any science backing, and I'm a non-BS kind of guy. I'll give it, and if my forecast is wrong, I'll tell you. That's just kind of where I stand. So, yeah, just stay tuned. But we're talking about a decent amount of ice tomorrow. Impacts are going to be moderate, if not high. I just showed you, we're talking about hours of sleet, maybe some freezing rain mixed in there. I think we'll see a decent amount of freezing rain. And I think we're going to be talking about maybe some rain and maybe some snow as well. We are getting an entire mixed bag of everything. Now, what's the difference between freezing rain, sleet, and snow? I used this a couple of nights ago. For those of you that stuck around, you saw it, and I think it does a pretty good job. It's not a pretty graphic, but it is my water canteen. Imagine this is the entire atmosphere, and I'm going to turn my front light off so it doesn't reflect and you can see it a little better. Let's say this is the length of the atmosphere. We live down here, Up here is the cloud base, about a mile up into the sky. So in here is the entire column of air in which our weather happens. As precipitation falls from the clouds up here, it always falls as snowflakes. Even when we're 100 degrees here, I'm talking about a severe storm, it initially falls as a snowflake. Warm air, though, exists here at the bottom part of the atmosphere and works its way further to the north, or further up into the air. So when we start talking about warm air becoming not just maybe a little sliver down here, but it's wider and wider, then we start to look at what would fall normally as a snowflake all the way down, starting to mix and change a little bit. When that freezing layer, or the area where temperatures are above freezing is present, but it's not too big. It's maybe that much of the atmosphere. You just take those snowflakes, you mix them back over to rain, or you send them over to rain, but then you have more cold air down here, but it can't come back into a snowflake. Once you melt a snow, you can't refreeze snow, so it becomes an ice pellet and falls all the way down. But as that area of ice grows, that snowflake that melts to a raindrop does not have enough time to refreeze, so that raindrop continues all the way down, and it comes to us. If we're below freezing here, or right at freezing, that means it's freezing on surfaces. It's only once you get that temperature here locally above that freezing point where it remains just rain. I'm going to turn this back on so you can see me a little better. Now we get snow above 32, and it's a whole nother beast, and I talked about that a couple of weeks ago. But that depends on how thick that warm layer is. So it isn't just you might see the forecast for tomorrow and be like, it's going to be 34 or 35, or it's going to be 28 or 29. It can't snow above freezing, or it has to be snow. Weather is a lot more than what you see here at the surface. It goes a mile up into the sky. There's a lot that goes on in minor temperature alterations all the way up. 1,000 feet above us, 2,500 feet above our, you know what I'm saying. As you go up, minor differences will cause big impacts onto our forecast, which makes these systems so difficult to forecast. So everywhere, I think in the Mid-Atlantic, we'll see this transition, if I can get back to it, to some version of a wintry mix, whether it just be sleet or it be freezing rain or it be all the way over to rain. It'll happen somewhere. And here in Southern Maryland, we're prone to that because we have so much water around us, especially on the lower Calvert and lower St. Mary's County peninsulas. And even there over towards Nantucket, you all know as well as anyone in Leslie or Ridge knows, you have a hard time seeing snow, especially with these types of events. And it's because you're very susceptible to see warm air come in. And that is a microclimate kind of discrepancy that you don't hear talked about much. And if you wonder, why is Leslie always left out of the big snows? Or why is California or Hollywood or Great Mills or Nantucket or Newburgh? The reason why this happens is because you have warm water temperatures. I believe the bay temperature is in the 40s right now. By no measure warm, but warmer than what we need it to be for snow. And because you are on the bottom parts of peninsulas that are very flat, that warmer air up above the head, let's come back over here, like we were talking, that warm air, comes right across, and then adds extra warming and switches you over to rain or sleet or freezing rain in this case. So that's why those parts of I know you all feel like you get gypped to snow all the time. I grew up in Leslie. I spent a lot of time down in southern St. Mary's, over there on Hermanville Road. I've been in Nantucket, Indian Head even. Over towards Lackey High School. You all know that, southern Maryland gets gypped at these good snows a lot of the time, and this is the reason why. And this is another system that isn't going to be providing us with a lot of snow. Vicky wants to know about St. Leonard. Even in St. Leonard, we're talking about big ice concerns. Again, this is a much of the region. The only area that might not see the highest ice totals will be southern St. Mary's. Even southern Calvert, Leslie, and Solomons, and St. Leonard, and White Sands, you're likely going to see probably between 1/10 and 2/10 of an inch of ice. Catherine wants to know, and Catherine, I see your name again. I remembered you yesterday. I'm remembering you again. For St. Mary's, I think we'll switch from an advisory to warning. And yes, I'm surprised too. There's no ice storm warning. I was very convinced at about 9 a.m. this morning that this warning would include us. There is no reason it doesn't. Even if I send you over to the National Weather Service forecast, let's bring you over here. So you can see on their webpage, there we go, winter weather advisory. Even over here in their criteria, impactful snow and Their snow forecast isn't much for the southern parts of these counties. You're you're talking maybe an inch or two. Okay, and I think even that could be hard pressed. But this ice accumulation forecast, they go all the way up to half an inch of ice in that red zone through parts of Charles, PG, northern Calvert County. And this medium color here, the orange, it shows on my end. It probably looks more yellow on your side. All of Calvert, much of St. Mary's, we're talking a tenth to a quarter of an inch of ice. That is a lot of ice, and that's exactly what we saw last week, and they issued a nice storm warning. So I'm surprised that there's no warning in effect, and I would definitely expect for that to get changed here. And Shannon, it has the potential to be worse than the other day. I think that potential is definitely there. And Samantha, I assume you're tuning in a little late. Wants to know if it's going to clear up Friday. Let's revisit that Friday forecast for those of you just now tuning in. We begin to see the precip come to an end in the morning. Maybe some lingering areas of ice, maybe just some rain. But I think we do see everything come to an end between about 7 a.m. and noon on Friday. So if you have date night plans for yourself on Friday, I know personally I missed Valentine's Day because I was here reporting the weather with you all. So I told Ryan I would make it up to him by going out Friday night. I'm personally invested in what happens Friday night, of course, with social distancing and masks. Well, you won't be looking at, ice falling at that point. Travel difficulties are going to remain for you. So just take it easy. Slick spots are going to remain out on area roads. So I think impacts are likely. Again, if this was a non-pandemic world, schools would be closed probably Thursday and Friday. Given the weird hybrid setup or virtual setup, again, everyone does something different, especially I think the private schools are doing something different than the public schools, and there's 7 counties I cover. I can't keep up. You're going to have impacts that linger into Friday, I think. Yeah, Melissa, I do not like ice either. How much ice will Dunkirk get? Please, I got you. Christina will come back here. I'm sure you're joining here a little late. Do I think there'll be any power outages in Calvert County? Maybe some isolated to scattered power outages. And who was that? Christina, I thought of you. Dunkirk has its own special label here on the map, maybe up to a third of an inch of ice. I definitely think once you head north of Prince Frederick, I tend to think of this. Once you hit those hills in Calvert County, when you drive up Route 4 from Lesby all the way up to Prince Frederick, or all the way to Dunkirk, most of it's flat. You're surrounded by a lot of woods, especially as you head through St. Leonard and White Sands, and you hit Prince Frederick. It's like, oh, there's civilization. Once you get north of Huntingtown and you start to hit all those hills that take you up and down, right around the bowling alley, Plum Point, that'll be the area that sees the highest snow totals. Or highest ice totals, rather. And snow totals, but mainly ice. Driving from Waldorf to Annapolis tomorrow morning, yes or no? I wouldn't recommend it. I assume you're taking probably 301 to 50. If I had to take a guess, probably right, what is that? Keanu Jones? I wouldn't recommend it. You're going to have a lot of snow, sleet, and ice to deal with, especially up towards Annapolis. How much ice for Lexington Park? Casey, Lexington Park doesn't have a label on there, but I know you know where it is on this map. I know you know. It's near the Pax River, 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch. Here we go. I opened up Pandora's box with the in my backyard questions. Look at this. You got to look at the map and see where you are. And I know that a lot of you are probably just now tuning in, and I've been at this for about half an hour now. I've gotten plenty of these questions already. Just look at where you are on the map. There's a Colonial Beach one. And you can see where you are in the county. I zoomed in close enough so y'all can get a good idea for you. So up to a third of an inch will be possible for much of the region. So I think that's what we're talking about. Johnny wants to know about Romney, West Virginia. You're looking out. Because you're not on the snap, so I can't lecture you. Romney, West Virginia, you're up here out towards northwest of Winchester, if I remember. Closer to Cumberland, right? Like Hampshire, what is that? Grant County, Hampshire County, up towards that area. You'll probably see more snow than ice, maybe like 3 to 6. Much for my yard. Theresa wants to know mail tomorrow. I think you have to deliver mail no matter what, right? But you're going to have issues. Be safe out there and make sure you thank your postal work. Whenever we get snow or ice up here, I always leave out an extra note in a goodie bag almost for the postal workers. I don't know if they can actually eat it or not, but thank you. The postal workers, power line workers during all of this. It's crazy. Can you let newbies know to support you? Yeah, Kiana, Johnny's saying Hampshire, right? That was close. You can always subscribe on Patreon at JBWeather, or patreon.com/JBWeather. I have a PayPal set up. The link's floating around everywhere. You can get that. And if you're a business, you can send me an email at john@jbweather. Thank you, Kathleen. You're back. Kathleen, I feel like we're going to become very good friends. I like your name too, Kathleen Duffy. That's very iconic. You're always on here. Do I think we'll need goldfish? Yes. So my goldfish, rolling strong. We're sitting right around here. I just told Ryan when we're done with this, we are going to be running up to the store because I want eggs, bacon, and I need more goldfish. And everyone thinks I don't eat vegetables. Well, I don't eat a lot of vegetables. I do try to eat some. And we'll be getting some spinach to put into our pasta tonight. So that's why I told Ryan we would do this a little earlier, 6:15, so we can do dinner at a decent time. Because these live streams, I do them at like 7 and 8. They go until like 8 and 9 o'clock. And he's like, John, are we going to eat now? He's already eaten without me. Let's see, this is crazy. Can't wait to track severe weather. Severe weather. I would much rather forecast a winter storm than severe storms because severe weather is so finicky and it will bust on you like that. I hate severe weather and it leaves lots of damage. It's too much. It's too much. Let's see. Hey there, Lori. Lori and Mark. There we go. Chesapeake Plastics up there right now. Thank you for sponsoring. Let's see. Got my frost guard on my truck and saint letter for my windshield and windshield wipers. As you should, Lori. Can I miss our little charge? Well, it'll be nice when I don't have to do all these charts and live updates for y'all as we head into next week because schoolwork is ramping up and trying to juggle both, especially now, is trying to get a little difficult. Let's see, snow total, where's the snow total where you are at, JB? I'm up here in Harrisburg. We'll probably see like 5 inches or so, or near Harrisburg. Molly wants to know how much ice at Chesapeake Beach just... Molly, it's starting to turn a little bit. And I'll bring that up just for people that aren't seeing it right now. I think we've all gotten close to this one. Yeah, we all have gotten close this winter, especially the last 2 weeks because it's been winter storm after winter storm after winter storm. Let's see. And yeah, everyone, those companies are going there on the sidebar. And now, I have so many now that I have to kind of cycle them through. Check them out. RE Graves Heating and Air Conditioning. Check them out. The Charleston Senior Community, Berkshire Hathaway, William Richmond Inc., Chesapeake Plastics, Buddy Lee, Landscaping and Contracting. Check them out, please. They allow me to do what I do as a living. This is a full-time job for me. I know some people think I'm just running a Facebook page, but this is a full-on business for me. So they help to keep me going. I appreciate the support all of them give me. I wonder how many closures and delays for Southern Maryland schools. Casey, that is a good question. In a non-pandemic world, we'd be talking about every school system being closed. Except for, it's like Charles and St. Mary's County love to call it right at 5 a.m. So, they'd be waiting until tomorrow. Clemens has seen a lot of rain since Hurricane Isaias. Yes, Linda, and I'm still waiting on those final precip numbers that come in from 2020. But estimates had Clemens at 80 inches of rain last year, which would be an all-time state record for the amount of rain. I want to get those finalized official totals from the Weather Prediction Center before I share that. But yeah, you've seen Hurricane Isaias really kind of changed the pattern for us. Christine will miss the live updates. Hey. It's not over just yet. We still got to get through the rest of today, into tomorrow, into Friday, and winter isn't over yet. I think we'll see one more event before we wrap things up around St. Patrick's Day. And Mike, I just kind of answered you right there. I think we will see probably one more winter event sometime this winter, but I think we do warm up next week. My forecast for Tuesday takes us up close to 50 with mainly sunny skies. Let's see. When you do have to travel, yes, a tow truck, and yeah, and they're not. I mean, and those guys, especially like AAA or even those like local tow guys, they're always up. This is how they make their money. Make sure you tip them. Whenever I need I think it was back in August, my car battery just went on me out of nowhere, and that the tow truck driver came, and I know nothing about cars, so I'm just there like a damsel in distress. And I guess people don't tip them a lot. And I was like, here's $20. Thank you. You're doing work I can't do. And you might get paid, but I'm going to show you my thanks. It's just like going out to eat. And I always tip well for waiter and waitresses. A nice foot of dry snow. That would be nice, Janine. I don't think this is the year for that, though. Snow accumulation. Kevin wants to know. Hit back on that quickly. If you're in Southern Maryland, not much. Maybe less than an inch, maybe an inch or so as you head up towards Dunkirk and Waldorf. More further north and west, up towards Frederick and Winchester, over towards Gaithersburg. Ice is the bigger story here, and I have that shown here for you. Calvert called code virtual. There we go, Molly. Thank you. Is it going to be as bad as 1994? Probably not. 1994 is a very hard bar to clear. It's kind of like around here. People will ask when we get hurricanes, will it be like Hurricane Isabel? That Hurricane Isabel, I remember that hit in 2003 when I was in early elementary school. I think it was like second grade. But I vividly remember my elementary school teacher, Miss Wood. She was like, hurricanes here, it's coming up, and we were out of school for like a week and a half. And everyone will compare hurricanes to that, and if it doesn't meet that, it's kind of lackluster. 1994 is the same way. We saw like an inch of ice around here. In 1994, we saw ice storms every other day. So I don't think it'll be to that level locally. My boyfriend and I have turned a lot of people. Hey, there we go, Cheryl. I appreciate that. Thank you. I think everyone should follow here. But you know what? Even like people in my life, they'll still be like, John, what's going on? Like the Weather Channel's saying this. What are you saying? I'm like, You can lead a horse to water. You can't make him drink, though, right? And Ryan is very guilty of that. It'll be like, ABC 27 said this. What about you? 7th District's a swamp, Brittany is saying. Yep. Everyone's seen lots of rain, and now all the snow and ice is melting. And then we're going to freeze it all back up. It is no bueno. Let's see. There we go. Pax River's on a 2-hour delay for tomorrow. Let's see. Nancy. Welcome, Nancy Harvey Smith. Another one of those loyal JB Weather followers. What did you miss? And because you're special, I'll run through it just quickly, though. Biggest story is going to be ice. And I believe, I know I'm going to get this wrong because I'm trying to think of it right now. You're in Charles County, right? Let me know if I'm wrong. But up to a third of an inch of ice, I think. That's going to be the biggest story. Moves in tomorrow morning between about 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock, somewhere in that time range. Locally, it might start as a quick burst of snow, but it quickly goes to sleep, then to freezing rain, maybe a little rain. I'll show you that Thursday timeline for you to kind of give you an idea. And thank you, Mike. Yes, lots of hours of hard work. When the weather isn't busy, and I know when we hit like April, I'll be wishing we were doing this again because the weather is so boring. I have nothing to post about. But yeah, right now, this is definitely like a 40-hour a week job. I would say even more so because, yesterday I was like, I'll get a forecaster, I'll get all my posts done between like 8 and 12, and I'll be good. Yet no, that was a joke. I was working on forecast, responding to emails, and if you have tried to message JB Weather, I'm sorry. Everyone's asking about what's going to fall in our backyard, and then some are asking about how they can sponsor me. I promise I will get to your email in due time. There are just too many, and it's overwhelming. But yes, it keeps me busy. And yeah, I think a decent amount, because everything's melting, and we've seen so much more, a lot of puddles. Exactly what Catherine's saying. See, Amy, my husband, yeah, no, Amy, again, you tip it. I tip Tocho. If they're doing a job I could do, but I'm not currently doing, I'm going to tip them. Like for waitresses and waiters, I used to be one. Even when they're crappy, when they forget to give you your ranch, I'm still going to, for bad service, I'll tip 20% because people still need to live. It's not my job to show someone like, oh, you shouldn't be in this business. You got to feed your family. Maybe you're going through something. I know there were days where I was dealing with stuff at home or I was just in a crappy mood and I give the best service. Doesn't mean I shouldn't live. But 20% for bad service, always in it. And depending on what I need done on my car, if I have a tire blown out, you're getting a lot more money from me. Karen wants to know when it'll start. It'll probably start somewhere in the morning before sunrise. I gotta show the time. Suzanne, I got you. We're on the timing picture for you. Boss says you have a 1% chance of work tomorrow. That's funny. Do I get enough of a break in between the systems? Seems like. So in normal years, I do. When we don't have back-to-back systems and it's like one storm every other week, yes. The last 2.5, 3 weeks, I've not gotten enough of a break, and that's exactly what anyone close to me can tell you. I've been behind the computer screen a lot more than I typically am. JB is trying to skip. Erica, I'm going to have addresses down here if we get another winter storm next week. And I mean, maybe it's possible Monday, but I typically will remember the name and the picture. Only a couple of you I remember where you live. Because, I mean, especially like Nancy, she's been following probably since what, like 2015? Like, she's been here since almost the beginning, if not the beginning. Like, she has seen me gone from like 1,000 followers to, I think we're up to 33,000 now. She's been here through all of it. She's a special place. Let's see, my husband, hubby now just asked what's Jamie saying. Hey, there we go. Again, you don't even need to, if you're inside, you don't need to stay on like the news channel, flip back and forth when the news is on. You can watch the movie, bring me up on your phone, watch what's going on, and get back to your movie. Hey, there we go, Kathleen. I love that. Let me send me ties. Thank you, actually. Let's see, Kohl's clearance rack. I mean, all of my ties super cheap. I would never say no to more ties though. Although I need to set up a PO box because I feel very weird about giving out my address publicly. And thank you, TL. Let's say hi, JB, Huntingtown here. Hello, Deborah. Actually, I was born in Huntingtown and lived there till I was 5. And I moved down to Lesby. I kind of worked my way down Route 4. I was born in Huntingtown, raised in Lesby. My mom lives in Solomons now. I spent some time over in St. Mary's County, too. I mean, I'm all over the place. Maybe Weather's the best, hands down. Thank you, Brian. I try. Hello from Pomfret. There you go. Over there towards McDonough High School. Travel issues on Saturday. Tracy wants to know. Tracy's another one of those loyal followers out there in the Ranch Club, managing that Facebook page like it's rowdy. I know how it goes. I see it all. Probably not Saturday. I mean, maybe some residual slick spots, but we start to warm up this weekend. Yeah, Catherine, love seeing the growth. We try it. Let's see. I just put the PO box. I need to get that PO box set up. I do. I know. Each of your 30,000 followers gave you $1, you'd be rich. Yes. Yes, I would be. And a decent amount support me over on Patreon. I think almost like 200 or 300 of you do, which is awesome. And I appreciate that. What time is this going to be bad? So I had the timing up here for you. I think that's what Shy Nicole. I'm messing that up, but I'm sorry. But it'll start, we'll see conditions go down generally, probably as we head towards about sunrise. Package sitting in PA that I need by Friday. Should I give up? Probably. I mean, over here in PA, I can bring it down to you when I come visit my mom next. Last winter weather we'll have for the winter, maybe. We'll see. That might be wishful thinking, though. I think we'll have one more before we end everything. You all know, even in like non-snowy years, we're tracking something in the month of March. March has become the new December. We see a lot more snow in March than we do December. Our core winter time frame runs from like Martin Luther King Day through St. Patrick's Day. So I think we probably have one more out there somewhere. Yeah, so probably about one more or so. And I think I saw another question. I'm halfway between Pax River and Scotland, which appears to be right on the line. So if I come back here, so kind of the best way to rate this is like if you're on that line there, and the range is like 1/10 to 2/10, you're probably closer to 1/10. So I would expect around 1/10 of an inch for you. I assume you're probably down towards about like Great Mills and St. Mary City and Hermanville. If you're not towards that way, I definitely expect probably about probably about 1/10 of an inch or so. Thought this winter was going to be mild. Even Texas. Yes, Texas is getting in on it. And there we go, Nancy. Been following since you began in JB. St. Mary's. I gotcha. That'll stick in my head now. You're from St. Mary's. For some reason I thought you were in Charles. I believe Patricia, another one of those longtime JB weather followers. She's up in Brandywine. Let's see. Brian wants to know about California. Probably about 1/10 of an inch of ice. Timing is pretty much the same for almost everyone, though. This looks to get going around sunrise or so. So that's what I have for you this evening. I do need to go run to the store, pick up some stuff for dinner. It's getting late, and I'm sure Ryan is hungry. So But I'll be with you all day tomorrow. Classes for me start at 8. I'm up every morning at 5 o'clock anyway, so I'll probably be up around 4 o'clock or so this tomorrow morning to keep you updated. I have class tomorrow morning, so a little bit of spotty coverage. But tomorrow afternoon, when we're really getting going in earnest, is when we will, I'll have coverage. I'll aim for updates every 90 minutes or so, probably a little bit more than that when we get closer. Again, we've done this now for the 4th or 5th time. You know how the updates go. I try to keep you all ahead of the storm. Can't come to class because I'm busy forecasting the weather. Megan, I've really done Southern Maryland. I got away with that a lot up here. They're like, I just want my damn essay. I've been told. It's just fine. My education comes first. So, but we'll do that. So stick around. I'll continue to keep you updated for as we head into tomorrow. Oh, awesome. Well, Christina, I'm glad you found the Facebook page. And also check out Twitter at JB_weather, Instagram at JBweather, the website jbweather.net. I'm on YouTube as well. 2 of you are watching me on YouTube. I can see that. And you can get that link by going to the website and going over to YouTube. I utilize YouTube more so for people that are now anti-social media and for reasons that, vary. But someone way to get the live video forecast, it's up on YouTube. So yes, I'll making meatballs while listening to. Hey, Kristen, I want some. I love meatballs. Yes, I'm in tons of debt to Ryan after these last couple of weeks. I owe him a couple dinners. I told him this Friday we'd go out too. So, but I'll keep you updated. So I need to go get that the rest of my evening underway. Get out of this tie a little bit. But so stay tuned. I'll keep you updates all day tomorrow. Gave you all the information for social media, and thank you so much for tuning in with me. After 47 minutes, the show's coming to an end. We'll talk those soon. So we will continue to keep you updated. I'm Forecaster John Bordash. Thank you for joining.